Europeans are starting to see the real America day by day.
Very first time. And trust us, the reactions only get better as we go.
I think Americans realize we don't really have food here in Europe that's worth getting fat. Like, I don't know how to explain it. When I'm seeing Americans reacting to European food,
I like them chunky. I like them big.
When you live in a country that eats jacket potatoes and beans on toast, and you go to America, you don't realise how depressing our snack aisles are until you go there. Coming back to Britain after eating in America is like going from Netflix back to VHS. We grew up thinking paprika was adventurous. Anyway, if anybody needs me, I'll be pricing up flights back to America.
This reaction is impossible not to smile at.
Name me a country that has better looking food than this. These are beans and weenies, the far superior cousin to beans on toast. I'm going to add a little bit of salt because it is intolerable otherwise. Now, every time I cook this for my dates, they've always ghosted me and never come back. And I think it's because this is purely so delectable, so superior, they get intimidated. The amount of pure fiber in here is absolutely insane. I'm supposed to dip this pizza in the ranch, and it's
No, they probably ghost you because you pulled up with that meal. Like, what is that? Beans and rice? Like, come on. That's a meal you eat when you don't have many other options. I've eaten that as a child. Some people call it like a struggle meal, right? You take some cheap little beans, cheap little hot dogs or whatever, put them together. That's a meal. Beans and little hot dogs. Maybe it's better than what they serve over there. Beans and toast. But I imagine it's like in the same caliber. They're both probably struggle meals, I imagine. If you're from the UK, let me know. But rice and hot dogs, yeah, that's like, nah. I think she's adding a little satire on top of it, to be honest with you. But that type of meal, nobody would want to eat that type of meal. However, when it came to the earlier people showing, hey, there's no meals, excuse me, there's no meals in Europe worth getting fat for. And I'm like, nah, that can't be true. As an American who's been to 4 different European countries, I disagree. I've had some meals over there that were amazing. Now, maybe because it wasn't in my normal taste buds that it stood out. And that's probably the same experience they may be having over here a little bit, right? Like they may think, oh, it's good, but it's something new to them. Like when I go to Germany, when I go to Spain, Turkey, it's something new for me. Maybe if I ate it every day over there, it may not feel the way. But I don't know. I was in Turkey for like 4 months. I was in Spain for 6 months, and it was still amazing. Like those are my two favorite food places right there. And I could easily get fat on that food.
and it's a salad dressing, but I can also dip chicken wings, chips, and carrots in it. How much ranch can I take back legally? This is your breakfast, so I don't have to eat beans on toast every morning? I just tried Chipotle, Chili's, and Wendy's in the same day, and all the places had AC. They are selling full-on meals at the gas station. Need a bit of Marmite to put on my toast. Peanut butter and jam? Why didn't I think of that? These places have...
Wait until you see the next one.
No. You cannot do that. Now I know this is a European thing, or at least a thing what they did in Spain. This right here.
See the next one.
So you cannot do this in America. This right here. No. This is a no. Like if you want to get sick or feel a little under the weather, that's when you do this. I would strongly advise against doing this, especially if you're somewhere like Las Vegas. It's known for having poor water quality. I used to live in Las Vegas for a couple of years. I lived in Spain for 6 months, and they would actually take water directly out of the tap like that. Like you fill up in the sink, put it in the refrigerator, get it cold, we serve it for dinner. That's what they would do over there. I still felt kind of funny about it, maybe because I spent the majority of my life in America and you've been taught since a kid, don't drink the water out of the bathroom or out of the kitchen. So maybe that's why I felt funny about it. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I still drank it and I never got sick. It's funny because in Europe, I don't think I've ever Well, in Turkey, I got the pandemic, but in Spain, I never got sick. Meanwhile, every time I come to Asia, don't matter if it's Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, every time I get sick somehow. I don't know how. But yeah, please don't do this. This is not considered safe.
Moment to completely change someone's perspective.
I never, ever, ever in my whole entire life thought I'd ever come to the USA. Like, I'm just a normal kid from a normal life, and I didn't have my first holiday until I was 17. I didn't have a passport until I was 17. Like, it is crazy. I've always dreamed of coming to the USA my whole entire life. I wish I went to school here. I wish I could have lived here. I wish I could have had the American dream. But you know what? I'm living it.
You got it now.
Although it's just temporary, we make it feel like it's forever. I've only got 5 more days left in the USA, and time is creaking up on me. I don't want to leave. But think about it, I've got a limit for how long I can be in the USA. I'm gonna come back, trust me, I'm gonna come back. I can't leave you guys without me. You guys need me in the USA. I can't go back to England. England? Who wants me in England? If you want me, let me know.
Hey, bonjour à tous. If one day you're planning to visit the US, be careful. Because you might have to stay way longer than you planned. Not because of the places, I mean they have amazing places, but because of the people. I've lost count of how many Americans told me, for example, like, oh, if you go to Texas, let me know, I'll show you around. Or come to Florida, we have beautiful beaches, I'll show you. Or if you go to New York, let me know. Like, so crazy. People you've never met are willing to show you the places where they live, the city, and make sure you have a great time here in the US. And that's something that I really love about America. It's people are proud of where they live and they want you to experience the same. So they want to make sure you have a good time here and you have like great memories. And honestly, this is so cool because when you experience a country with the people that live here, it makes the experience so much different because they show you all the things that they have here. So you kind of live like a local, you know? So it gives like a better experience.
You know, it's
That is accurate as far as the local aspect. You know, as someone who has been to many different countries, one of the things I tell people, like when they ask me for advice on traveling, relocating, etc., I say, get cool with some locals for various reasons. One, you're going to have the local discount or the local advantage. So if you need to buy something, repair something, etc., you're going to know the appropriate pace to get it so you don't get ripped off financially. 2, you're going to know the ins and outs of the places. 3, you got friends. Who doesn't want friends? There's so many more reasons. However, shout out to Speak Good. He left a comment under a video and he mentioned this is for tourists. I'm paraphrasing what he said exactly, but he was like, this is like a tourist experience. And what I believe he means by that is when you're a foreigner coming to America versus an American living in America, your experience is going to be completely different. The gentleman in the hat who made the point about don't come to America because you might want to stay longer had a good point. But in defense, when you're an American and like how he said, come to Florida, all that stuff, I feel like you would have to actively ask for that invitation or for that lookout. Like, let's say you met someone, for example, I used to live in Las Vegas, right? Let's say I met someone from Miami, Florida. More times than not, I would have to ask them for that lookout. Like, hey, I'm about to come to Miami in 2 weeks. Do you mind showing me around? What's up with this, etc., etc.? Where this gentleman talked about how people would voluntarily come up to him or say, when you come here, let me know, right? I've had that experience being abroad. But as this being my home country, I haven't had that experience where people just threw it out there like that. I would have to ask like, hey, yeah, you know, I might take a flight to San Diego. When I come to San Diego, you want to look out for me. And then when you come to Vegas, I'll look out for you, etc. Whereas when I go to Brazil, when I go to Spain, when I go to somewhere else, when I'm like a guest in someone else's house, for lack of a better word, then that's when I'll get the invitation. Hey, you want to come here? Hey, I'll look out for you here. Hey, this is what's going on here. Hey, stay away from these people over here because XXX, blah, blah, blah. So I see what he's saying as far as people giving him that, but I feel like when you're abroad or a guest in someone else's house, that's when you get that open invite. Not to say that American people are not friendly, because American people can be friendly, especially depending on where you're at. You know, we already discussed in previous videos the different region breakdowns. By the way, if you're a European considering coming to America, you can watch my previous videos for reference points, or you can reach out to me personally via Instagram, YouTube, etc. I use the same name. Everybody, make sure you like, comment, all that type of stuff. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. But this gentleman had a good point as far as the people inviting him over. You can have that experience, especially if you're a foreigner, right? And you don't got to be European, to be honest with you. You could have the same experience being African, being Asian, being from South America. However, I do feel like, if I'm being honest, the same way y'all Europeans may look at Americans as cool, some Americans look at Europeans like cool. Because they're like, oh man, they speak English, but they got the cool accent. Or man, they're kind of like us. Maybe they feel like we're cousins or something like that. You know, there's some similarity, some crossover. You know, I understand as Americans, when it comes to like music, film, etc., you could say arguably we dominate that. But there's certain areas where Europeans dominate. And I think that can add to their element of coolness. But what do y'all think in the comment section? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I correct? What do y'all think about Europeans experience American for the first time, or how Americans treat Europeans, or what people have been thinking America was like this whole time? Shoot 'em up, bang, bang. But you can go to places where you can be completely safe. I said it in a previous video. I'll say it again. San Diego, California is a beautiful city, and it's a city with over 3 million people, and it's still safe. Beautiful beaches, by the way. I can't wait to go back. It's been a couple years since I've been there. Like, comment, subscribe, share, hype. We'll be back.